Hey, welcome back, DAL Stars fans, to my channel. It's been a minute, and I'm sorry ahead of time because there was a couple of things about this game that I think honestly mattered to me more than the win. Which is weird saying that because like this, it matters. And this game was great because it just built my confidence in this team, especially because it's the return of the captain, this guy, Mark Stone. Let's go. And I'm really sorry, Stars fans, again, because yeah, not the best of feelings, right? Even though you guys handled us anyway last year in the playoffs, despite the fact that he played. Spoiler alert, he was injured during that playoff run. He came back and played hurt. He probably shouldn't have been playing. And I'm not saying that just because of cap. That wasn't a reference to the new slang term. It's a reference to the salary cap. I went on a little rant last in my video, so sorry, Golden Knights fans are people that are just watching me. But yeah, the way that I can compare this is you guys aren't taking a page out of our book with Sagan by him being out, especially because like he had surgery, right? Like Mark Stone did. The players that we can add using that salary cannot replace Stone, right? Same way they can't replace Sagan. He was the most productive, his line was the most productive for you guys, right? And that's the same with Vegas. Stone is by far one of our most productive players. He was leading our team in points when he went down. And without him, we are in danger of missing the playoffs. Like, I know our record was similar. Those losses were nowhere near the kind of quality losses that we were getting even when Stone was in the lineup. The quality of the game just dropped immensely, and I'm sure that you're going to be able to see that without Sagan in your lineup, even though he's a part of the older core. And your guys' young core is fantastic. Seeing like Maverick Bork, that kid scored today, and I'm gonna get to the game. But my main point, why I wanted to do this first, is because the way that y'all feel about Sagan is how Vegas fans have felt about Stone every year that he's been on LTIR. So if we're able to put that behind us and talk about Mr. Game 1, thanks Golden Knights, win against the DAL Stars 3-2 in a game that was actually pretty close, especially given the fact that the penalties were a little lopsided. Speaking of penalties, Vegas on the board first with a power play marker from Tomas Hertl. With that setup from Mark Stone, that power play setup that they do where they pass it to the goal line Mark Stone, who passes it quickly to Tomas Hertl, who's net front, and he bangs home the puck. It's a play that has worked so well for us at the beginning of the season. It tailed off a little bit before Stone got injured, but in his first game back, if that happens, it's fantastic for Vegas' power play, which had dropped from 2nd to 6th in the league. And to do that against Dallas as well, who has a good penalty kill. It felt good. Sorry. That was on a 5-on-3 because Vegas did the first penalty, Shea Theodore with a holding call, and then Hintz with an interference call, and I think so far we're good, right? With like those were penalties. Sam Steele with the slashing call, that is that is a by rule book a penalty that doesn't get called all the time, which is weird, and refs, you gotta call that, right? And then Bork with the tripping on Dorofeev to make it a 5-on-3 for about 53 seconds, but it only took 5 for that power play goal to happen, and Vegas is up 1-0, and we ride that into the first intermission. Oh, I forgot. Dallas technically scored first. It was an illegal goal, so it was discredited, so it wasn't actually technically a goal first, but the puck went behind Aiden Hill before it went behind Jake Ottinger. And it was because Jason Robertson, Hill froze the puck, and Jason Robertson with his stick hits the glove with the puck because it was very freshly frozen, but he did freeze it, and it knocked it in underneath his glove to go, and it was discredited from a goalie interference call, which I think we as fans deserve a video similar to the one that they put out about the contact with the head from Hits a couple of weeks ago with Toronto players involved. They should do one of those for goalie interference calls, just to clarify things for fans, because I felt pretty confident that should have been goalie interference, but like, I had no idea what they were going to actually call. And that's not great product. That's not something that you want the NHL to be in. Then Dallas ties it up. Maverick Bourque, like I already talked about, where it's just kind of chaos. Maverick Bourque wins a board battle. Heiskanen chips it back in towards behind Hill, and the puck just kind of goes everywhere around Hill between players for a good like 4 seconds before Bourque buries it past Hill, just kind of bashes it through him to make it a tie game 1-1. And that was just really not lucky because he made his own luck. It was very good effort from Bourque to be able to pounce on the puck, just kind of bouncing out towards him in a favorable position. Puck luck. Yeah, it's just great. That's hockey. You need to be able to do that, and that's unfortunate for me. Hanifin, 2-minute minor. Yeah, that was a bad trip. And then that power play for Dallas gets cut short because of a Jamie Benn high stick on Nick Hague. Nick Hague is 6'6". Jamie Benn's not. And in order for that to happen, like, Ben did need to put a stick up there, but I kind of think Hague high sticks himself by, like, lifting Ben's. I wasn't sure about that call. And it's a double minor because it did draw blood. And, like, yeah, Ben needs to be in control of a stick. I need to look at the replay of that again. I want to know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, yeah. Looking at it further, it looks like Ben hooks Hague's arm, and he's trying to get the stick of Ben out of there, so he kind of like moves it, but then Ben unintentionally, like I don't think he meant to do this, like the way that he twists his stick causes the blade, the foot of the blade to knock through Hague's mouth and nose, and that was a penalty. That's a high sticking penalty. I agree with that call. And even if it was questionable, like either review it, and if you're not able to decide, you'd probably want to favor the player that hasn't been suspended slash the person that was getting high sticked, because then one fan base is going to be completely livid, and then either way. So if, like, let's say for example it was inverse, I would be saying the exact same thing because I try to remain objective. I want to be a smart hockey fan, not a lunatic hockey fan. And after the 4-on-4, which Dallas kind of controlled, Vegas gets another power play opportunity, and hey, we're power play merchants. That's great. I'm happy with that. Vegas, with a real good setup on their power play, have a couple of different opportunities. Stone, again, tries to pass Hurdle. It's broken up. So instead, the next time he gets the puck at that goal line, he tries to wrap around, dig it in, and it doesn't work. But the puck bounces back out over to Theodore, and there's just absolute insanity, chaos in front. And so he makes a really smart play because Eichel drops back. So Theodore turns, passes it, and Eichel just quickly one-times it into the net, pass honor to make it a 2-1 game. Yeah, let's go. Jack Eichel's first power play goal of the season. That's great. It's his 9th of the season. Yeah. And then 40 seconds later, 3-1, because Vegas, again, scores. And this was a very fast-forming play. Eichel chips it in, sends it around to Dorofeev back to Waugh, and Waugh has like 4 Dallas Stars collapsing in around him. And Harley gets his stick out in front, but it somehow missed Waugh, and Waugh somehow just roofed it. Like, I wasn't expecting it. Otter clearly wasn't expecting it because there was no, like, buddy in front. He had full visual, but this goal just kind of came out of nowhere, and Waugh buried it top shelf. And it's a 3-1 hockey game, and that's like 2 goals in less than a minute for Vegas to be able to take a 2-goal lead. And yeah, wow, that's great. And Vegas in the regular season has typically done well against Dallas, and so I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. It's not like we're facing DeBoer in a game 7, so he's not gonna have this unkillable streak of just nothing but wins. Mark Stone returned from injury against Dallas Stars. That's familiar. And Vegas and Dallas kind of trade chances, and then Dallas gets the puck. They pull Otter with like 3 minutes, like almost 4 left to go, which is a little bit early. There was a debate about it, whether or not he was going to pull it because it was a stoppage of play, offensive zone draw, but they do. And good thing they really did well with the empty net and making sure that Vegas really couldn't take any chances on that net and maintaining offensive zone pressure and just keeping the puck going and towards Adin Hill. And of course they get one in, and it's Mason Marchment, who to start the third period blew a little bit of a like he stopped in front of Adin Hill and blew snow into his eyes, which is a penalty that like never gets called. And so Stars fans, I can sympathize with the fact that it was kind of weirdly called, and things that aren't typically called eventually got called, but it is a rule. And so if the thing that we should be clamoring for is, instead of, oh, Vegas paid off the refs, because hey, I don't think they can do that legally, and yeah, I don't think we're rigging this game in the regular season against Dallas either. That doesn't make any sense. Pushing for that to be called more in other games when that does happen. I have no qualms, I don't know what the word is, about that. That should be, yeah, great, I agree, let's do that. Mason Marchment is the one that scores, that's what brought this all up. And there was a couple of other things that weren't called, that were called earlier in the game as tripping. And so I was confused by that too. I think they missed stuff on both sides. I do think they missed a little bit more in favor of like Vegas in the game, which was against Dallas. Like I feel like they missed a couple of things that Vegas did that would have given Dallas another power play opportunity, more than the inverse of that happening. So in general, the refs kind of favored Vegas tonight, which I don't think is because of anything other than refs are human and they made stupid decisions and weren't consistent. But that's not Vegas's fault, that's the refs' fault, and it's for the single game. It's not like that always happens. It happens in favor of other teams on other nights. And that's, again, not because the refs hate Vegas. When that does happen to them, it does. Trust me. It is what it is. And it was unfortunate for Dallas tonight because they really came close to being able to complete a comeback. And they don't. They're stopped short. Vegas wins 3-2 in regulation against the Dallas Stars, and in large part due to Aiden Hill being really solid in net. He played fantastic. Some of the things that he does, especially with Marchment, I saw in the third period, remind me of like Jordan Binnington light. But the thing is with Aiden Hill, he doesn't really start anything like Jordan Binnington does. He kind of just will do some of the similar antics if he's poked, you know? And that's like goalie sticking up for himself after getting snow showered or getting like ran into, which he did on multiple occasions, including somebody pushed, I think it was Stone, that was a Dallas Star player, pushed Stone into Hill. That's not great. But hey, that's Canada's goalie tandem is Hill and Binnington, so that should be fun. But yeah, not fun for the US to play against. That's, yeah. But again, I'm happy that Stone's back, number one. That is the number one thing that I'm glad from this game, and it looked like he was healthy. And that's great. I don't want to see him playing hurt because that might prolong injuries, because playing hurt could mean that you injure things worse and all this jazz, and I just don't want to deal with that this year. So him coming back today is great. I loved it. He seemed good. He scored an assist, primary assist in that power play goal, and he was a very important part of that second power play goal that happened. And that's by far my biggest takeaway from tonight. Secondly, is probably the win. Yeah, let's go with the win and the 2 points against a good team. The Dallas Stars are a fantastic team, and I don't like playing against them because they're a good team. I don't want to see them in the playoffs because they're a good team and they might eliminate us, and that's, you know, not what you want to see. I like a lot of their players. Jason Robertson, Logan Stankoven had a couple of moments tonight. I like Otter as well. I like the Dallas Stars, despite the fact that we've played them in the playoffs. 3 times now. It's a rivalry, but it's the healthiest rivalry that Vegas has had in sports, at least from my perspective. Anyways, yeah, that was game 28. How'd you like it? I don't know. I'm just getting a reminder of like Dora the Explorer. Like, so what was your favorite part of the game? That was mine too. I really have no idea how I'm gonna transition to my ending out of this, so I'm just gonna, go. That's gonna be it for Game 28's Nightly Review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.